Hello everyone, this is the Mental Health for Life channel. Pain and nausea are very unpleasant sensations, but they serve as important alarms to let us know that something is wrong with our body. We can go to the hospital to get away from the pain as soon as possible and detect the disease. Cancer is detected late because it grows little by little in the internal organs, making it difficult for the body's alarm system to catch. This is why cancer screening is done. What about depression then? Unlike changes in the body, it is even more difficult to objectively sense changes in the mind. There is no alarm system to signal abnormalities like pain or nausea. The most important symptoms for diagnosing depression are a depressed mood and a loss of interest in things, which are rarely noticed immediately. You may sometimes think, maybe I'm lazy, or am I just tired? And ignore it. Even if you notice something is wrong, you make excuses for yourself, saying that it will go away naturally someday, or I don't have time to go to a hospital, and end up overlooking the depression. Therefore, it is rare for people to go to a hospital immediately after the onset of illness, and most of them see a doctor only after the symptoms have been aggravated for several months to several years. It might have been possible to avoid the pain and suffering if the depression had been recognized early and treated by taking a leave of absence. However, unless you are told to your face that something is wrong at work or at home, it is easy to miss the signs of depression. In this video, I would like to introduce some early signs of depression in order to help you recognize them as soon as possible. If you feel any of these, try to take a good rest first, and if you still do not feel better, consider seeing a doctor. 1. Excessive worrying and restlessness. The first symptom of depression is anxiety. Sometimes you think about the same thing over and over in your head, and other times you feel like screaming because you can't stay still. Others feel anxiety in their bodies, such as restlessness, sobbing, palpitations, thirst, and so on. They may become philosophical, asking, "What is the purpose of my life?" Or, "Is life worth living?" Continuing to ponder unanswerable questions is another symptom of anxiety. They may become sensitive to slight physical changes and worry that they may have cancer. 2. Irritability and anger. Of course, depression is an illness that makes people feel depressed, but some people also become irritable and angry. It is a suspicious sign when a person who has been calm is in a bad mood all the time, or starts to lash out at others. 3. Increased mistakes and forgetting things at work. Because brain function declines, mistakes at work and forgetfulness increase. You may find yourself forgetting your wallet or phone on the train, having trouble remembering your PIN number, or having trouble remembering someone's name. If you make the same mistakes or forget things more often, it is a suspicious sign. 4. Things you used to enjoy are boring. Music, videos, or other entertainment that you used to look forward to are no longer interesting. You no longer enjoy your hobbies and begin to regret spending money on such things. Losing interest in things you enjoyed is a symptom of depression. 5. Tiredness that does not go away even if you rest on weekends. Even if you take it easy on weekends, you cannot get rid of the fatigue. Heavy body, sleepiness all day long, and stiff shoulders and neck. These symptoms of fatigue are painful and are a major sign of depression that should be recognized early. If you feel tired in an unusual way, see a doctor as soon as possible. 6. Poor physical condition. Through the autonomic nervous system, poor functioning of the internal organs is another characteristic of depression. Various physical problems, such as gastrointestinal disorders, heart palpitations, and breathlessness, can occur. If you have been examined by an internal specialist and there are no physical problems, you may be suffering from depression. Orthopedic symptoms, such as back pain and frozen shoulder, may also occur. If there is no abnormality on X-ray but the pain persists, it is a warning sign. 7. Insomnia. Depression can cause insomnia, and there are several types. Difficulty falling asleep even after getting under the covers. You wake up several times to go to the bathroom. Waking up early in the morning and not being able to sleep after that. You dream a lot and do not feel like you have slept. All of these are insomnia. Insomnia may lead to a visit to the hospital because it often interferes with the next day's life. Sleep is a major marker of mental health. If you notice any of these signs, pause and think about whether you are pushing yourself too hard or holding back too much in your current life. Your job should make you happy, but is it actually keeping you away from happiness? First of all, simply reducing your workload or taking a vacation will improve your state of mind. If necessary, see a doctor. Most people who overlook the signs of abnormality are people who are not good at taking time off. There are people who do not take time off work because they have a strong sense of responsibility. People who cannot express their desire to take time off because they are concerned how this will look to others. And people who do not take time off because they are afraid that their career will be damaged. But if you push yourself too hard and destroy your health, you will lose more in your life. Depression is a treatable illness, but if it complicates things, it will require a long period of treatment. Don't think, I know what's best for myself. It is necessary to see a doctor or counselor to have an objective look at your mental condition. This was the Mental Health for Life channel. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel.
Hello everyone, this is the Mental Health for Life channel. When things in the world take a turn for the worse, our mental well-being often suffers too. The recent COVID-19 pandemic made this clear. On top of that, not being able to socialize and lack of entertainment or distractions can dampen our spirits. Eventually, we might find ourselves in a state in which we finally run out of energy to live, which we commonly refer to as depression. According to the World Health Organization, depression has increased worldwide due to the pandemic. Today, more than 350 million people, or 4% of the world's population, are affected. It's not a unique disease. Anyone is at risk. Moreover, depression has many symptoms, so it's rare for people to suspect depression and visit a psychiatrist from the outset. Most people visit internal medicine or orthopedic clinics due to physical discomfort. This delayed detection is one of the characteristic features of depression. We would like to introduce 10 symptoms of depression that you should definitely know about to help you recognize it early and start treatment. 1. Anxiety. Most depressed people experience high levels of anxiety. Worrying about work, money, the future, and so on is constant. Negative thoughts keep running around in their heads, and they feel overwhelmed. As anxiety intensifies, it turns into impatience. However, with decreased concentration, nothing gets done. 2. Nothing seems enjoyable. Activities that once brought you joy now seem unappealing, making hobbies feel meaningless. You lose interest in everything, including entertainment you used to enjoy. Even your favorite shows seem unimportant. While you might watch short videos or favorite movie scenes, sitting through an entire film or TV series becomes challenging. 3. Frustration and anger. While depression is often associated with feeling down, it can also lead to irritability and quick anger. Even when acting normal, you might be asked, "Are you angry?" or "Why the scary face?" This is because it becomes difficult to control your emotions. If a previously quiet person becomes angry over the slightest thing, depression should be suspected. 4. Loneliness. Loneliness is a major factor in triggering depression, yet it's also a symptom of the condition. Even in the company of others, there's a sense of isolation, leaving you feeling abandoned. Trying to match everyone else's enjoyment becomes a challenge, making you feel excluded and adding to the struggle. 5. Regret. For no apparent reason, past achievements lose their shine, while failures and setbacks linger in memory. You keep blaming yourself with thoughts like, "What a useless person I am," or "I've done irreparable things." Feeling unnecessary to the world, you may find yourself even thinking of suicide to reset your life. 6. Not wanting to do anything. Not only do you not feel like working, but you also don't feel like doing chores, such as cleaning, laundry, shopping, or cooking. It doesn't bother you even if the room is dirty or if you haven't taken a bath for days. Some feel like their whole body is heavy, as if there's lead in their arms and legs. You get tired easily, and if you push yourself too hard for one day, you might end up in bed for several days. Since you don't have the energy to care about others, meeting people also becomes too hard. You may not go to the dentist even if you have a toothache, or visit a hair salon even if your hair is growing out. There may also be times when you cannot answer the phone or doorbell. 7. Poor physical condition. Another key aspect of depression is dealing with various physical symptoms. No matter how much you sleep, you feel tired, and many people struggle with digestive problems. They may experience loss of appetite, nausea, and frequent bouts of diarrhea or constipation. Doctors may tell them it's acid reflux or irritable bowel syndrome, but medication doesn't always make it completely better. This is because the real problem is not in the stomach or intestines, but in the body's systems that control digestion, which are often disrupted by depressed moods. 8. Body pain. Physical pain, such as headaches, neck and shoulder pain, and lower back pain, is very common in people with depression. Even after seeing doctors and having tests like X-rays and blood tests, nothing unusual may show up. So, doctors might think the pain is all in the person's head. Painkillers often don't help much, but as the depression gets better, the pain usually gets less intense. In depression, a part of the brain called the amygdala becomes extra sensitive to pain. This means people with depression might feel pain much more strongly than usual, maybe 10 or even 100 times more. 9. Sleep problems. Sleep problems known as insomnia, such as difficulty falling asleep or waking up early in the morning, are common. On the other hand, some people experience hypersomnia, where they struggle to wake up in the morning and feel sleepy all day. These sleep issues occur because the brain's ability to regulate the sleep-wake cycle is weakened, which is a common symptom of depression. 10. Increased consumption of alcohol, cigarettes, and sweets. Alcohol and tobacco can temporarily lift mood and relieve feelings of depression and anxiety, leading to increased consumption. Surprisingly, sweets also have a similar effect, so some people may constantly consume sweet snacks or drinks. While these may temporarily uplift mood, once the effect wears off, mood can plummet even further. This can become a habit and cause problems such as addiction and lifestyle diseases like diabetes. Depression shows symptoms in the mind, but it's not a matter of weak-mindedness. It happens because stress weakens brain function, not because the mind is weak. Specifically, it's due to a decrease in the production of a substance called serotonin in the brain, which weakens overall brain function. For example, if you wear light clothing in cold weather or stay up late, you may catch a cold, but the direct cause of a cold is viral infection. Similarly, stress can trigger depression, but the direct cause is low levels of a substance called serotonin in the brain. Trying hard, pushing yourself, and persevering are all great things to do, but when you exceed your limits, your brain's serotonin secretion can be disrupted. The 10 symptoms described here are evidence that something is wrong in the brain. If more than half of these apply to you, it's important to pause and reflect. The sooner you address the problem, the sooner you will recover. Depression is an illness that can be treated with rest and medication, so consult a psychiatrist. This was the Mental Health for Life channel. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel.
Hello everyone, this is the Mental Health for Life channel. Depression until recently was thought of as an atypical disease, but recently it has become better known as a disease that can affect anyone. The World Health Organization now lists cancer, stroke, myocardial infarction, diabetes, and mental illness as the 5 most major disease threats, and mental illness has become a major issue worldwide. Depression, in particular, is said to affect more than 350 million people worldwide and has become one of the single most important diseases we need to pay attention to. To begin with, what is depression? Simply put, it is a condition triggered by stress or overwork in which the energy needed to live has withered away. What makes it different from plain laziness or fatigue is that it does not improve simply by just taking a weekend off, and it often ends up interfering with work or school in some way. The most common symptoms are low mood, loss of sense of enjoyment, loss of energy, and abnormalities in sleep and appetite. What's more, no other disease has such a wide variety of symptoms as depression. This is because depression is a disease that affects the brain, which is connected to the autonomic nervous system, which results in a variety of symptoms throughout the body. The following is a list of little-known symptoms sourced from the experiences of people who have suffered through depression themselves. Have a look at them for yourself. Number 1. Physical pain. Physical pain caused by depression is very common. For example, you might visit an orthopedist for chronic back pain, but the cause can't be found and painkillers simply might not work. However, if the patient gets diagnosed with depression by a psychiatrist, the pain might start to disappear as the depression improves. Depression pain can occur anywhere throughout the body, from the head to the face, neck, shoulders, back, limbs, and pubic area. However, X-rays and blood tests of this pain won't reveal any abnormalities. As a result, the doctor might even tell you that it is all just your imagination. What's really happening is, pain in the body is picked up by the amygdala, a part of the brain that becomes hypersensitive during depression. This might cause you to feel pain that is 10 or 100 times stronger than you would normally feel. Although no apparent abnormalities can be found at the location of the pain, the brain feels the pain regardless and is overreacting to it. Number 2. Inability to do the obvious. You might get tired easily. Your body might be heavy and everything becomes a hassle. One of the most common things you'll hear is how taking a shower becomes a huge chore. You might feel like washing and drying your hair is such a hassle and don't want to take a shower. You then might end up finding yourself not washing your body for a long time. Number 3. Messy living spaces from lack of cleaning. You might not have the energy to clean. You might put off cleaning, saying to yourself, I'll just do it tomorrow, and before you know it, your room has piles of garbage. Then you don't know where to start, which makes it even harder to start cleaning. You might wonder if you're just lazy, but even then, you can't get started on fixing the problem. Number 4. Feeling lonely. Even when people are nearby, you might feel distant and lonely. When everyone else is having fun, you'll feel as if you are singularly being left out. No matter what people say to you, you cannot communicate with others. You wonder if you will be able to live with such loneliness and despair over those feelings. Number 5. Feeling of detachment. Similar to loneliness, but you might instead feel a gap between yourself and the world. It is as if your mind is not directly connected to the outside world and you're looking at your surroundings through a monitor. Some people feel as if they are wrapped in an invisible membrane, or as if they are underwater. Number 6. Not wanting to see anyone. It may seem contradictory, but even if you might be suffering from loneliness, you might avoid people. You might not have the ability to care about others, so it is painful to interact with them. You might not be able to get yourself to go to the dentist when you have a cavity, or to the hairdresser when your hair grows out too much. You might not even be able to answer the phone or intercom. Number 7. Forgetfulness. Because of a decline in brain function, forgetfulness is common. You might not be able to recall people's names, or you might often forget important things in your car. You may even mistake it for dementia and hurry to a clinic that specializes in memory loss, where you might end up diagnosed with depression. When you suffer from forgetfulness related to depression, you might be able to recall some forgotten things later on. Forgetfulness related to dementia also includes forgetting things, but they cannot recall things even when they are pointed out to them. In addition, dementia is also characterized by the fact that the act of forgetting things does not tend to bother those with the condition all that much. Number 8. Frustration and anger. Depression is often associated with emotional numbness, but it can also cause a rise in irritability and anger. This is because you become emotionally unstable and cannot control your emotions. If a previously quiet person becomes aggressive and angry over trivial matters, depression is often a suspect. Number 9. Impatience and anxiety over career advancement. Anxiety is another symptom of depression, which, when aggravated, can progress into total impatience, a feeling of being under time constraints. This can lead to a feeling of low self-esteem, and you might become impatient and dwell on obtaining qualifications or changing careers. You might also put yourself in a bind and study or try to get certifications despite being diagnosed with depression when you should be taking time off. In most cases, you fail because of your inability to concentrate, resulting in more self-blame. Number 10. Loss of ability to listen to music. You might not be able to listen to music that you used to take for granted. You might experience a loss of concentration that causes the notes to become incoherent and sound like noise to you. Even your favorite songs start to sound depressing. If you used to listen to music on your commute to work but recently stopped, you should take note of this. Number 11. You can no longer watch movies or TV. You might watch parts of movies or short videos because they don't require much concentration, but you can't get yourself to sit through movies or dramas. You might experience a loss of concentration and find you get tired of following the story. Or, on the other hand, you might find yourself suddenly disinterested in things you once liked. Number 12. Anxiety when the TV is not on. You might be unable to concentrate on watching TV, but at the same time, you might feel anxious and lonely when alone, so you leave the TV going. This is because you try to distract yourself from your anxiety and loneliness with stimuli through your eyes and ears. Number 13. Not wanting to sleep or anxious about going to sleep. You might be anxious about getting up the next morning. You might have this sense that if you sleep, it will become tomorrow, which makes you not want to go to sleep or afraid of doing so. You might end up watching videos or play games late at night and find it difficult to go to bed. You might have a hard time going to bed in the morning because of the short hours of sleep. And you might even think the next day you'll go to bed early, but even when night comes around, you still do not want to go to sleep. Number 14. Increased alcohol consumption. Alcohol has the effect of temporarily lifting your mood, and you might end up drinking more to ease your difficult feelings. Some people drink as a substitute for sleeping pills because they cannot sleep. Be careful when the amount of alcohol you drink keeps increasing. In the worst case scenario, you may become an alcoholic. Drinking large amounts of alcohol can also make depression worse, so if you use alcohol to soothe your feelings, your condition will get even worse. Number 15. Sensitivity to weather changes and difficulty with rainy days. Depressed people are often sensitive to changes in the environment. On rainy days, you might feel even more depressed and not step outside once. Because your behavior is affected by the weather, you might check the weather forecast daily, which you might not have paid attention to before. Number 16. Thirst and anxiety from lack of drinking water. Thirst can be a symptom caused by the autonomic nervous system as a result of anxiety. Drinking water has a stabilizing effect, so you might find yourself always drinking water. In some cases, anxiety might be so severe that no matter how much water you drink, you cannot alleviate your thirst. When you are out of the house, in bed, or other places, you might worry if you don't have drinking water at hand at all times. Depression is not just a matter of how you feel. It is a disease that includes abnormal brain function due to stress. Symptoms appear in all aspects of daily life due to a general decline in brain function. They are varied, and there are many more than those introduced here. The phrase early detection, early treatment is often heard with cancer, but the same can be applied to depression as well. Early recognition of the disease and treatment or rest will make recovery much easier. On the other hand, if left untreated, it can become severe and chronic, so be careful. We recommend that you see a psychiatrist as soon as possible if you have any symptoms that concern you. This was the Mental Health for Life channel. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel.
Hello everyone, this is the Mental Health for Life channel. No disease can be understood 100% by those who have not experienced it. Depression, too, is a state of mind that only those who have it can understand. When you encourage someone with depression by saying, "It's all about your mindset," or "cheer up," because they seem to be in low spirits, you may end up hurting them. It may seem strange, uplifting words can also cause harm, but depression is not simply laziness or exhaustion. It's a state of being unable to change one's way of thinking or cheer up due to the illness. Telling such a person to cheer up is like telling them to do something they can't, so it's hard for them to accept. It's like telling a person with a broken leg, "Try your best to run." Depression is a state in which one's energy to live has been exhausted. This life energy refers to emotional energy such as love, enjoyment, and happiness. It can be preserved by maintaining a rhythm of working hard, having fun, and resting. However, if we continue to push ourselves without rest or worry for too long, our energy will only be depleted. Eventually, when it dries up completely, it leads to a negative psychological state that is unimaginable for those who are healthy. The state of mind during depression is complex. In this video, we will introduce some specifics of this state of mind so that you can understand a little better what depression feels like. 1. Tiredness in the morning. Feeling tired from the morning is a symptom of depression. From the moment you wake up, you begin to feel exhausted, as if you've just returned from work. Sleep itself is often shallow, filled with unpleasant dreams. You wake up early in the morning and your mind is already swirling with things you have to do. Even when it's time to get up, your mind and body feel heavy and you can't bring yourself to leave the bed. You feel like you want to spend the entire day in bed. 2. Inability to enjoy anything. The things you used to enjoy completely lose their appeal. The music and videos you once loved no longer move you, and engaging in hobbies feels like a chore. You have no desire to answer the phone or the intercom at your door. It becomes bothersome to interact with people, and you want to spend time alone without anyone's interference. The food loses its flavor and tastes the same no matter what you eat. Fashion holds no interest, and you don't mind wearing the same clothes all the time. 3. Loss of self-esteem. Depression makes you feel like all your past achievements have lost their value despite your previous efforts, leaving you feeling like a useless, incapable person. Everyone you see, whether it's friends, colleagues, people on social media, or TV personalities, seems to shine brighter than you, making you feel inferior. You may feel that you're worthless and just a hindrance to everyone else in your life. 4. Having no hope. You feel that no matter what you do, your current situation won't improve. A single problem can make you believe that everything is hopeless. Worries constantly occupy your mind. You feel that no matter what you do, you will fail anyway, so you have no hope for anything. You even lose sight of the purpose of life, wondering why you're living in the first place. 5. Constant regrets. You can't stop thinking about what you did wrong and keep blaming yourself, thinking, "I should never have said that," or "Why did I do that?" Even long ago mistakes that are now beyond your control come to mind. You understand that there is no point in dwelling on them, but you can't escape the grip of regret, and you continue to blame yourself. This is how depression works. 6. the inability to stop playing games or surfing the internet. Time keeps passing, yet once you start playing games or surfing the internet, you can't quit. Even though you feel that you have to stop, you find relief in the monotony of repetitive actions. Rather than enjoying the games, you use them as an escape from your feelings. When you finally manage to break free, you regret having done it and blame yourself for overdoing it and wasting your time. The cycle repeats itself. Some people are addicted to online shopping. They may buy many similar items or leave boxes unopened, even after making a purchase. It's not so much that they want something. It's about being unable to stop the act of buying. 7. Wanting to disappear. You become unable to take responsibility for anything, whether it's at work or at home. When you try to force yourself to do things, you get frustrated and angry and feel like you're going to break down. Tears may start flowing naturally. Ideally, you want to throw away all responsibilities and escape somewhere. When things get even tougher, you start wishing to go back in time and redo your life. If you cannot change anything, you may even wish for a cancer diagnosis or a traffic accident just to end your life. You yearn to reset your life, or at least to go to a world where nobody knows you. We have introduced the emotional state of depression. When a person's energy for life runs out, they experience such negative mental states. In such times, one needs to recharge their energy. Specifically, they need to be relieved of social responsibilities and take a good rest. The key to recharging is to get enough sleep and eat properly. However, if the exhaustion goes beyond a certain point, symptoms like insomnia and loss of appetite may appear. In such cases, medication treatment becomes necessary. It's advisable to consult a psychiatrist as soon as possible. This was the Mental Health for Life channel. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel.
Hello everyone, this is the Mental Health for Life channel. Recovery from depression is a daily process, and during periods when you are not fully recovered, you may have a lot of free time. This can be an opportunity to think about things you want to do, which is a sign that you are recovering. However, you may also receive offers from concerned family and friends that distract you, which can make it hard to know how to spend your time. How should you spend your time then? Are there things you should avoid doing? To avoid setbacks in your recovery, here are 7 things to avoid doing while recuperating from depression. 1. Going traveling. Many people believe that traveling and experiencing beautiful scenery can cure depression. However, depression is not simply a lack of energy, and it is not the same as being simply fatigued. Family members and friends may suggest a trip as a way to help, but it is important to recognize that forcing yourself to travel can have negative consequences. Not only may you be unable to enjoy the trip due to anxiety, but the physical and mental strain of travel can exacerbate your symptoms and drain your energy and well-being. You may have difficulty sleeping due to changes in your sleeping arrangements, or you may encounter unexpected challenges. In many cases, if you are still struggling with depression after getting home from a trip, you may feel even more exhausted and unwell than before you left. To avoid exacerbating your depression, it is best to avoid traveling when you are still in the recovery process. 2. Studying for qualifications. It is common to want to use the time spent recuperating from a depression at home in a meaningful way, and pursuing a certification or taking a course may often seem like a good option to do so. However, it is important to recognize that studying requires concentration and endurance, which may be difficult to maintain when recovering from depression. While it may seem like a good idea initially, it can quickly become a burden and lead to feelings of frustration and self-loathing. In addition, if you are unable to complete the course, you may end up wasting money and feeling worse about yourself. Therefore, it is generally not recommended to pursue certifications or take courses during the recovery period. 3. Making big purchases. During the recovery process from depression, it's common to develop a desire for goods, shopping for items that give you a sense of pleasure or satisfaction. While it's okay to indulge in small purchases to reward yourself, it's important to be cautious about making large purchases. Some may justify these purchases by saying they will work hard and recover soon, leading them to buy expensive items such as designer clothes or electronics. However, the reality is that recovery from depression cannot be planned or predicted. Furthermore, the burden of a loan can hinder recovery and lead to regretful purchases. To avoid future financial and emotional distress, it's best to avoid making large purchases in an effort to chase a better future. 4. Staying up late. While it can be enjoyable to indulge in activities like diving deep into a game you've been wanting to play or watching a video during your recovery period, it is important to avoid staying up late. Disrupting your sleep schedule can disrupt the natural rhythm of your body and make it more difficult to recover from depression. It is recommended to try to get to bed by midnight to maintain a consistent sleep schedule. 5. Making big decisions. Making big decisions can be challenging when dealing with depression. Impatience and anxiety about job security, finances, and relationships may cause you to rush into making significant life choices. However, it is essential to take time to rest and recuperate before making any major decisions. The more depressed you feel, the more important it is to avoid hasty decisions, as they may exacerbate your condition. It is best to prioritize your recovery before considering what to do next. 6. Moving to a new place. Moving can be a solution if the cause of your depression is related to your home environment, such as stress from neighbors or living arrangements. However, it is important to consider that moving can take a lot of energy and adjusting to a new town can be stressful, to the point that there is a term for it called moving depression. Unless it is absolutely necessary, it is recommended to wait until you have fully recovered before considering a move. Taking the time to focus on your recovery and well-being can help ensure that you are better equipped to handle the stresses of a move when the time is right. 7. Ceasing your medication. While resting, you may be inclined to look up your illness on the internet. However, it's important to be wary of unsubstantiated articles, especially those that make biased claims about medications. Some people may be misinformed by articles and decide to stop taking their medication, but this can be detrimental to their recovery. Even if there are no immediate changes after stopping the medication, symptoms can take up to a month or so to reappear. Antidepressants are known to work slowly and their effects may continue even after you stop taking them. If you stop taking medication and then start again after experiencing a relapse, you will not see an immediate improvement in your symptoms. Therefore, it is recommended that you take your medication for a sufficient period of time as prescribed by your doctor and avoid stopping halfway through without consulting them first. The key to recovering from depression is to maintain a normal and consistent routine, even though it may feel difficult or distant. Eating a balanced diet, getting enough sleep, and engaging in light exercise like short walks are all important factors in this process. It is important to avoid the temptation to rush into new activities or pursuits in an effort to speed up the recovery process or to make the most of your time. This impatience can actually prolong depression and may be a symptom of the illness itself. Instead, focus on small, achievable tasks each day and avoid putting pressure on yourself to do more. Over time, the accumulation of these small successes can lead to a surprising and significant recovery. This was the Mental Health for Life channel. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel.
Hello everyone, this is the Mental Health for Life channel. One of the known causes of depression is a low serotonin secretion in the brain. Serotonin secretion fluctuates throughout the day, but it generally decreases when triggered by stress or irregular lifestyle. This can lead to symptoms such as mood swings. When worries and anxieties are resolved and a regular lifestyle is established, serotonin secretion that has decreased may naturally return to normal, However, in the case of depression, serotonin secretion does not return to normal on its own. The purpose of depression medication is to boost serotonin secretion. Even if serotonin secretion returns to normal with the help of medication, if you continue to lead the same lifestyle as before, there's a risk of a relapse when you stop taking the medication. Therefore, during the treatment of depression, we should aim for a lifestyle that naturally increases serotonin. So, what kind of lifestyle should you lead to achieve that? In this video, we will introduce 7 things you should do during recovery from depression. 1. Get plenty of sleep. Adequate sleep is the most important thing for serotonin secretion. In the early stages, try to sleep a lot without worrying about the time. You should aim for at least 7 to 8 hours of continuous sleep. Leaving sleeplessness unattended is the worst thing you can do. In such cases, use sleeping medication. The more you sleep, the better you will feel. As your symptoms improve, gradually work on establishing a regular sleep schedule. 2. Take it easy. In the early stages of depression or when symptoms are severe, it's okay to spend the whole day taking it easy. It is better to relax at home or at your parents' house where you will not be disturbed. The key is to take it easy without worrying about what others may think. You may feel guilty if you're the only one doing nothing while everyone around you is working. In such cases, consider it your job to rest. Even if you're just staring at the ceiling all day and doing nothing, your brain function is definitely being restored, leading to your recovery. 3. Establish a regular routine. Once you can get enough sleep, strive for a regular daily routine. To increase serotonin secretion, it is important to wake up by 8 a.m. and get some morning sunlight. If you take a nap, limit it to 1 hour and avoid napping after 3 p.m. Aim to go to bed by midnight and avoid staying up late. Try not to disrupt your daily rhythm with special activities that can throw off your routine. Even if it seems like a detour, a simple and ordinary daily life is the shortest path to recovery. 4. Eat a balanced diet. There are diets recommended for depression on the internet, including foods rich in tryptophan, which is needed to make serotonin, such as bananas, and supplements containing folic acid and vitamin B. However, there is no need to force yourself to consume specific foods. Above all, it's important to aim for a well-balanced diet and enjoy your meals as well. Also, it is known that excessive intake of nutrients due to overeating can make it difficult for depression to heal. Be careful not to eat too many sweets and other carbohydrates or drink too much alcohol. 5. Light exercise. In the early stages of recovery, you might not feel like going outside, but as you recover, try to do light exercise, preferably at least 3 days a week. Exercise can be as little as walking for 20 minutes a day. There is no need to force yourself to go to a gym. In any case, do not overdo it. 6. Don't rush. Depression is a condition that can be cured. However, the recovery time varies from person to person. The duration of recovery can range from about 2 months to over a year. It's important to understand that you're not being lazy, so trying to study new things or pursue qualifications is not advisable. Due to reduced concentration, new knowledge may not stick in your mind as you'd like. Moreover, feeling a sense of urgency, as in, I must do something, I can't stay like this, might actually be a symptom of restlessness. When returning to work, it is important to distinguish whether the desire to go back to work is genuine motivation or simply impatience. You should not rush back to work because you feel impatient. Instead, it's better to continue your recovery until true motivation resurfaces. 7. Do something you enjoy. Recently, there has been a lot of talk about a field called positive psychiatry. The goal of conventional medicine has been to repair what's gone wrong due to illness. Positive psychiatry, on the other hand, aims to cure illness by strengthening people's innate ability to bounce back from it. One of the forces that help people bounce back from illness is a sense of satisfaction and accomplishment. Instead of rushing to cure depression, try to do something that gives you a sense of satisfaction and accomplishment even while you're living with depression. The positive emotions that arise from these experiences can serve as a force to help you bounce back from depression, allowing for a natural recovery process without conscious effort. It can be anything from playing games, watching videos, playing sports, or even having a pet. Whatever it is, do something that excites you and provides a sense of accomplishment. Instead of feeling guilty about playing without working, focus on genuinely enjoying these activities. Rediscover the joy of living through them. Depression is not caused by a weak mind. Rather, it is often caused by pushing yourself beyond your limits in situations that aren't a good fit for you. Looking back, have you ever been overly considerate or patient at work or at home? Did you ever spend too much money or drink too much alcohol to mask difficult emotions you were feeling? Take time during your recovery to sort through these experiences and think about what kind of life suits you best. It may also be worthwhile to seek counseling or guidance before returning to your previous routine. Having depression is not necessarily a negative thing because it can serve as a catalyst for redirecting your life in a more positive direction. Recognizing lessons such as, I discovered I was pushing myself too hard, or it motivated me to alter my lifestyle, can be a valuable result of managing depression. Your experience with the condition can become a valuable resource. This was the Mental Health for Life channel. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel.
Hello everyone, this is the Mental Health for Life channel. Depression is similar to fatigue or laziness and does not show up on blood tests or imaging tests. This makes it difficult to be aware of the illness. With a cold, you know you are cured when the fever goes down and the cough and sore throat are gone. However, this is not the case with depression. It is difficult to judge whether you are getting better or not, and you may mistakenly believe that you can get better if you just keep trying, even though you are not well enough yet. Some people forget how they used to be, or how they used to feel when they were well. Here are 8 signs in daily life that can be an indication that you are recovering from depression. 1. Cleaning up your room. The first thing most people do when they recover is clean up their room. Vacuuming for the first time in a while, organizing old papers and letters on the desk, decluttering clothes, rearranging furniture, etc. These are signs that you have been thinking, I want to do this, in the corner of your mind for a long time, and now that you have a little more strength, you are ready to take action. 2. Sleep and eating become more stable. You will be able to sleep at night and enjoy your meals. Sleep and eating are the key to healing depression. Once this is achieved, recovery is quicker. Depression is thought to be caused by a decrease in the secretion of serotonin, a substance in the brain. Adequate sleep and food are the most important things to improve serotonin secretion in the brain. 3. A sense of reality emerges. The fuzziness in your head will lift, and you will start to feel like you are doing something. When you are depressed, your brain is not working properly, and everything feels like a blur in your head. No matter what you do, there is no sense of reality. Even if you eat, it doesn't taste good, talking to people doesn't enter your head, and you don't enjoy anything you do. It is a sign of recovery that these things are gone, your head is clear, and you feel more alive. 4. Worrying decreases. Worry and anxiety decrease, and you find yourself wondering about your former self. Why was I worrying about such a small thing? During depression, The brain is in alert mode due to a decrease in the brain chemical serotonin. Even the slightest event will make you think, "This is dangerous, do something," and cause you to overreact. Events that normally would not bother you keep spinning around in your head, and you are driven to think, "I can't go on like this." However, as serotonin increases and depression improves, the alert mode of the brain is released. This means that even if something happens, the feeling of "I can handle it" becomes stronger, and you do not worry so much. 5. You will not get frustrated. The patient's emotional state becomes calmer and less irritable. Before receiving treatment, you were often irritated with family members or people at work, getting angry over minor things, and getting into arguments. People close to you may have asked, "Are you mad at me?" Another symptom was that you would throw in the towel and say, "I've lost it," when you made mistakes or received attention. As your depression recovers, your painful relationships will become clearer. 6. Forgetting to take medication. When you are not feeling well, you take your medications properly, but as you get better, you may forget to take them. You might find yourself realizing, "Oops, I skipped a dose." Of course, it is not a good idea to stop taking them without consulting your doctor, but this is a sign that the painful feelings are gone, and you can start to feel better about your illness. 7. You can enjoy entertainment. As your concentration is restored, you will be able to enjoy entertainment such as videos and music. When you are sick, you have no concentration, so you may get tired after watching a few videos, or music may sound like noise to you. It is a sign that you are recovering considerably when you start humming your favorite songs. 8. Feeling free. Feeling free during a leave of absence is a sign of recovery and may be a chance to get back to work. On the other hand, being driven to do something or get back to work as soon as possible is a symptom of depression called agitation. Because it is a symptom, you would rather not work when you are feeling impatient. The fact that you are feeling free is a sign that this feeling of agitation and tension has been removed. Signs of recovery from depression appear about 2 weeks after you start taking medication, or about a month if you are taking a leave of absence without medication. From there, it can take as little as a month to get back to your true physical state, but some people take another 6 months to a year. Recovery time varies from person to person. The time to return to work is almost the same as when one regains one's own physical condition. However, even after returning to work, you should not overwork yourself for an additional year or so to prevent recurrence. If you are taking medication, continue to take preventive medication while you work. This is because the first year after recovery is the most vulnerable to recurrence. If there are no problems after 1 year of relapse prevention, the next step is to reduce the medication. It is a good pace if you can reduce the number of pills by 1 per month. It would be nice if we could reduce the number of pills smoothly, but in reality, patients sometimes get sicker when they reduce the number of pills they take, even if they do not relapse. This is why many people stay on their medications for years. This is not because they are dependent on the medication, but because the cause of their stress has not been corrected, and their brains are not producing enough serotonin. Medications can be taken for a long period of time, so do not set a deadline for when to stop, but rather reduce them slowly over time in consultation with your doctor. At the same time, try to reduce stress in your life. Also, in the unlikely event of a relapse, the first signs will be in sleep and appetite. It is a dangerous sign if, after supposedly being cured, you can no longer sleep, have trouble falling asleep, wake up early in the morning, or have a reduced appetite. In this case, consult your doctor as soon as possible. This was the Mental Health for Life channel. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel.
Hello everyone, this is the Mental Health for Life channel. No matter what kind of illness you have, you will not suddenly get better overnight. You gradually recover over time, taking steps and slowly healing from the damage. Each disease has its own path to recovery, and mental illness is no exception. So, what about depression? In the case of depression, there are three major phases, namely the initial, the acute, and the recovery phases. It usually takes about 6 months to a year to recover after treatment begins. The starting point, or the time of onset of the illness, is often unclear. From there, the patient gradually loses energy, entering the initial phase. It is rare for the patient to be able to recognize the disease during this period, so they often push themselves until they reach the acute phase. During the acute phase, the patient feels severe anxiety and depression and is unable to lead a normal life. Most people seek treatment and rest at this point as they become more aware of their illness. After about 1 to 3 months of treatment, the acute phase ends, and the patient enters the recovery phase. This is a period when the patient does not feel bad but lacks energy and concentration, making it hard to function. The patient gradually recovers, and after about 6 months, they can finally return to their normal life. This is when they can resume work. However, this does not mean that the patient is cured. The word remission is used to suggest that the symptoms have disappeared and the patient is stable for the time being. This is because more than half of the patients able to go back to work may relapse within the next year. Therefore, preventive medication is continued after the recovery period. This period is called the stable period or relapse prevention period. In this video, we will explain in more detail the path to recovery from depression, breaking it down into the initial, acute, recovery, and stable phases. 1. The initial phase. This is the period when the patient loses energy and does not recover even with weekends off. They may feel unwell and wonder if it's just tiredness or perhaps laziness. Since they are somehow able to continue working, they might not consider going to a hospital. However, people around them may notice something is wrong, such as a dark expression on their face, irritability, or an increase in mistakes at work. If someone who notices the problem points it out, one may go to a hospital and receive guidance such as lightening their workload or taking a longer rest period, and they may start to improve. However, more often than not, people continue with their lives as they are, and something causes their condition to deteriorate rapidly and they move into the acute phase. 2. The acute phase. This is the period when the patient becomes aware of the illness with a strong sense of anxiety and depression. In particular, insomnia and loss of appetite are major signs. When they visit the hospital, they're advised to take a leave of absence from work and to take medication. If one has symptoms like insomnia and reduced appetite, recovery is challenging without medication. Some patients refuse to take medication, saying, "I'm afraid to take it." However, the prescribed medication has no major side effects and is by no means addictive like narcotics. Consider yourself lucky if your illness can be cured with just a few pills instead of difficult surgery or rehabilitation. In most cases, antidepressants are prescribed, but unlike painkillers or cold medicines, they don't take effect right away. The effect comes gradually after about 2 weeks. For this reason, anti-anxiety medication or sleeping pills that provide immediate relief from anxiety and insomnia may be prescribed alongside them. To exit the acute phase, it may take about a month for some people, while for those who take longer to find the right medication, it might require up to 3 months. Living a life focused on eating and sleeping is essential for recovery during this period. When sleep and appetite are restored and feelings of anxiety and depression lessen, one has entered the next phase of recovery. Around 10% of people may skip the recovery phase and become too energetic. They may become talkative, move around restlessly throughout the day, shop too much, or get into more fights. This is a manic state. This is not depression, but may suggest the possibility of bipolar disorder. 3. The recovery phase. This is the period when sleep and eating patterns stabilize and you can lead a regular life. One feels less anxious and worried, and their mood is better, but they still cannot work because they lack energy and concentration. A day of overexertion may lead to several days of rest. One's mood varies from day to day, such as feeling irritated on rainy days or feeling down because of a single word from a family member. However, gradually, one's body starts to function better, and progress often resembles taking 3 steps forward and 2 steps back. It is a major sign of recovery when one notices their cluttered room and begins to clean it up. They will also begin to enjoy entertainment such as music and movies, which they may have avoided for a while. On average, the recovery period lasts about 6 months, and the patient can start working only after entering the next or stable phase. During this period of overall improvement, patients often stop taking their medications regularly because they feel better. Stopping antidepressants can lead to a return to the acute phase within weeks. Think of your medications as a lifeline and continue taking them even when you feel better. There is nothing wrong with taking them for a long time. We said that the recovery period is about 6 months, but some people may take longer. Some may stay in the state for years, as recovery is different for each person, so do not rush. The stable period begins when you start to feel more focused and energetic and to feel bored at home. 4. Stabilization and relapse prevention period. This is the time to return to work. However, not everyone can resume work in a completely refreshed state. Many people have no choice but to go back to work due to workplace circumstances or for financial reasons. Data show that in such cases, half of them relapse within a year. In any case, it is advisable to prioritize your well-being by not taking on extra work and avoiding unnecessary socializing. Also, one should continue to visit the hospital for at least 1 year, as medication can prevent relapses. Some people may feel worse if they stop taking medication, even if they have been back to work for more than a year. If you can lead a regular life while taking medication, you can consider yourself recovered from depression. From there, you can slowly reduce the medication without setting a deadline. Although we have introduced the process of recovering from depression, it's common for there not to be clear boundaries between each phase. There are also cases where one phase continues for an extended period. In particular, there are many people who have been in the recovery or stable phase for a long time and have been taking medication for decades. People are not machines, so things don't always go according to theory. Depression can be described as a state where one's life energy has dried up. Even if one is receiving treatment, those with complicated cases of depression may struggle to recharge their emotional energy. This can happen because they're not getting the emotional nourishment they need, leading to a lifestyle that makes them prone to depression. Emotional nourishment consists of daily feelings of security and joy. When you push yourself too hard in a life devoid of such feelings, you end up with an emotional deficiency, and your energy for life dries up as a result. The worst thing one can do is think, I have to recover from my illness and get back to work by a certain time. Such thinking is driven by a sense of obligation and impatience and lacks the joy and peace of mind. By trying to get well as quickly as possible, one may do things that are not good for their well-being. Some may say that there can be no peace of mind or joy while battling with the disease, but try to start by finding even the tiniest bit of comfort and simple pleasures in your daily life. It could be the feeling of security when enjoying a delicious coffee at a cafe, the joy of immersing yourself in a hobby, or the happiness you experience when interacting with a dog. This was the Mental Health for Life channel. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel.